All right, welcome back. I just went to Nashville over the weekend to see the Predators play the Montreal Canadiens in Nashville. Um, I do want to preface this by saying this is the third professional NHL hockey arena I've been to of the 32 teams. I do plan on going to all 32 at some point in the near future. We'll see. I don't really know what the timeline is going to be on that. It could be 3 or 4 years. It could be a more longer term project. But so just just before we get started, I just want to let you know that the two arenas I have been to prior to Nashville are Boston, the Boston Bruins. I've been to the old Boston Garden when I was a kid, and the what is it called, the TD Garden now. And I've been to the Verizon Center in DC where the Capitals play. So, still kind of a little new to NHL arenas, I guess, comparing and contrasting. But, here we go. So, went to Nashville. I flew from DC to Nashville Saturday morning, got there Saturday afternoon. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Nashville as a city, but that's okay. A lot of people love it. A lot of people like it. It's personally not my cup of tea, but I wasn't there to explore the city. I've already done that a couple other times in the past couple of years. I was just there to see a hockey game. So my buddy lives 2 blocks away from Bridgestone Arena where the Predators play, and we explored kind of the arena area a bit. There was a ton of restaurants, a ton of places to get foods and drink, and it was a really nicely laid out area for really a sports arena and sporting events, especially ones that hold over 10 grand worth of people. We went again. It was a Saturday night, so I don't know if it was just downtown Nashville on a normal day or pre-Predators game, but every single place was packed to the brim, like 2 hours before the puck even dropped. It was hard to find a place where we could get like food and a beer. We ended up finding a place, and it was packed. It was absolutely packed. We were lucky to get 2 seats at the bar. We didn't have any tables, but there was one bartender working, and we felt terrible for her. It was kind of brutal. It's not like it was a small bar; it was a big bar, and it was a L shape with a giant column in the middle, and you couldn't see the other side of the bar from where we were sitting. So, hats off to her for for working that shift. Just a heads up, if you're going to the stadium and you haven't had anything to eat or drink, it might be a little difficult before the game starts. So anyway, we did that. We went into the stadium, and the stadium's absolutely beautiful. I was looking at Google Street View before I took my trip out there, and I was like, okay, it looks fine. But in person, it's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of a weird looking stadium, but it's a nice looking stadium. And same on the inside. It's a beautiful stadium inside. It's overall well laid out. I don't think the arena was originally designed for hockey. I think it was more of a concert venue, and they repurposed it to be able to accommodate hockey. But honestly, you can't really tell. It's a beautiful stadium inside. The scoreboard or the jumbotron or whatever you want to call it is new. It's massive. It's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. The sound system's incredible. The bass, the bass shakes you. It's an awesome atmosphere. The fans were fantastic and very passionate. It was, overall, I'd recommend it. If you're going to watch a hockey game, I'd recommend it. There weren't really any bad seats. We kind of walked around a few spots to see what different seats would look like. There weren't any bad seats. If you get a ticket to the game, great. It doesn't really matter where you sit. Get the cheaper ticket. You're still gonna have a good view. So it was cool. The fans were passionate. It's definitely kind of an oddity, especially if you walk around Nashville. It's more of like a southern tourist city, and they have this hockey team that they love. It's odd, but it's fantastic. Um, I do have to give it a knock though for a few things. The food and the drinks were kind of brutal. Uh, I've officially, I'm, what am I, 30? My 30 years of life, I've officially had the worst slice of pizza I have ever had. Um, and I never thought that would be topped, and yet here we are. Yep, so that was bad. And then I went to go douse it with ranch, and the stand next to the place, the place we got the pizza, was out of ranch. So we went to two other condiment stands or whatever, and everyone was out of ranch. So that was cool. So I didn't finish the pizza because it was brutal, even though I was starving. I went back for a couple hot dogs. The hot dogs were fine, but there were no condiments. There was there's no ketchup as an option. That's kind of weird. Like there's no relish. You can put mustard and mayonnaise on it, and that's really all they give you. Oh, they give you honey mustard too. I don't like mustard though, so kind of an issue. So I ended up having to put barbecue sauce on it, and they were out of mayonnaise. And I don't know. There were better options throughout the stadium, at least on the balcony level. I didn't really explore the first level too much. That could be a little different. Could be a little better. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't know, but the balcony level in terms of food and beer was atrocious. The three main beers they had that you could really get anywhere, which was nice, was Budweiser, Bud Light, and Michelob Ultra. And then we found this like craft beer stand or whatever, and the one craft beer they had, which was like $6 more than a regular beer, was Stella Artois. So if you're a beer enthusiast, I love beer. I have beer aging. I have a kegerator. For those that don't know, it's a fridge and it has tap handles up top. So I buy kegs, and I have a CO2 tank, and I have draft beer. I literally make trips to breweries, so I'm a big beer guy, and I was a little disappointed, especially because I've had decent beer in the Nashville area. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. But in terms of the food and drink, it was quite disappointing. Don't go into the Predators stadium on an empty stomach. Just throwing that out there. Or anticipating to get, decent beer. So that's not happening. All right. The other knock I gotta give it, I don't really want to call it a knock to an extent. It just definitely felt more like a college hockey game than an NHL team that we were watching. You see some of it on TV and through broadcast. There's a lot of chants, a lot of like college chants and stuff, and that's a lot of fun. That's not the knock against it, but it's definitely reminiscent of college. But then, you got this guy who's like showing up on the big screen every, 10 minutes trying to pump up the crowd for something kind of ridiculous. This guy shows up halfway through the second intermission trying to get the crowd all riled up, but the stadium's like empty. Everyone's getting food or going to the bathroom. There's still 10 minutes left of the intermission. This guy's like trying to pump up the crowd. It's like, what is going on? It definitely felt like they were trying to entertain the audience, as if hockey wasn't enough to entertain the audience. I remember, at the old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, what was this, 18 years ago or something? It was like the 25th or 26th game before they knocked down the baseball stadium. It was a doubleheader against the Padres Phillies. I was at that game, and both teams were horrible. They were both like out of the playoff race. They were both bottom-dwelling teams. They had so many side activities and random entertainment things. Like they set the record for some guy being launched out of a cannonball at that game. It was just like, what are we what are we doing here? Like, I didn't come to see this. I want to see baseball, or, in this case, I want to see a hockey game. So that was really odd. I do like the chants. I like part of the college atmosphere is a lot of fun, and I almost wish it was like that in other stadiums. But I think they take it a little too far. They had the shirt cannon, and it's like, I don't know. It was a little odd, personally, especially when everyone got the same shirt when you walk into the stadium. It was like free shirt day or whatever. They were just shooting the same shirt out to the audience. It's cool, I got two of the same shirt. They're all in one size. It's like, the only size you can get is a men's extra large. I don't get it. So that's kind of a knock. I wasn't amused by it. I didn't care to see it personally. But the acoustics, the fans, the atmosphere in general, it's a lot of fun to watch a hockey game there. It's a passionate fan base. It's so I definitely recommend it if you're going to watch the hockey game. It's a great place to be. If you're going just to go, you're kind of indifferent about hockey, it may not be the best option. Because even the odd entertainment things weren't entertaining. They were kind of dumb, for lack of a better term. But overall, it was fun. We saw the Predators play the Montreal Canadiens. That went into overtime. It was kind of a weird game, but it was fun. It was a fun game. It was entertaining. Phil Forsberg won the game in overtime with 12 seconds left for Nashville. I didn't really understand why the crowd was chanting Carey Price's name when Jake Allen was goaltending for Montreal. So that was a weird one. I don't know about that one. That was a weird one. I'm all for chanting Carey Price's name though, but it was just a weird thing. I don't know. They said his name multiple times. They said his name in introductions. I don't know. As a, I love. I don't know how to put this. I went to school for engineering, and I love transportation and transit engineering, and that's currently my job is a transportation engineer. But the public transit connectivity to the stadium was kind of terrible. I think I haven't done too much research on it, but I think Nashville only has a bus system, and it's connected, but the buses don't run very frequently, and it's kind of an odd system. Just from first look, it's one of the few. I don't know if it's the only. It might be the only. Well, the only major city metropolitan area that doesn't have any type of, light rail or subway system. I know, like, Sunrise, that's outside of Miami, but Miami has a network. But, it's definitely a southern state, and I know there's been proposals for a light rail network there, and it keeps getting voted against, and it's, no taxes, but, infrastructure, and so that was kind of odd. The connectivity is pretty brutal for the game. I didn't look too much into parking or driving there. I'm sure there's garages, but I didn't really see any, which is nice from a pedestrian perspective. Garages are definitely an eyesore in major cities. You'd rather see nice buildings and have the garages hidden underground. So I don't know how it is to drive to a game. Again, my buddy lived 2 blocks away. We walked, but it was just something to consider. I'm definitely someone that likes to take public transit to a game because it's just a lot easier. If you had a few beers, you don't really have to worry about driving. It's just typically it takes you pretty close, if not to the stadium. I know in Boston, North Station is literally underneath the TD Garden. You can take the subway there. You can take the commuter rail there, which is kind of a more expansive rail network. You can take the bus there. It's a very walkable city. It's in a good location. You can walk there from downtown Boston. It kind of is in downtown Boston. It's I don't know. I almost consider that almost a part of the North End, but technically it's not. Don't hate on me, but yeah. So it's just something you wish there was a little more of in Nashville is the public transit connectivity. But now we're just kind of picking at little things, and yeah, but. Definitely go if you're into experiencing a nice hockey environment, atmosphere. It's a great place to see a hockey game. Just eat before you get there. All right, that's all for this. Take care, guys, and thanks for watching.